Hey, welcome back here to the Central PA Pour, and if you see, just Dave and I this time.
Yep. Kevin's off and running somewhere. I guess he's out checking out his clients. I guess.
Yeah. So, and coming up on the holiday season, by the time this is out, we're going to be into December, and holiday season's coming up. Christmas. That's almost 2 years we've been at this gig, Mr. Dave.
Yeah, it's true.
So, wow, 2 years. So make sure you look us up at Central PA Pour on all your audio platforms and give us a like and subscribe. We do have a guest in here. And
speaking of Christmas, I do have a Christmas list on
you have a Christmas list?
Amazon if anybody's interested. I mean.
Is it your Nikon again? More Nikon
There's
gear?
more Nikon gear on there, too.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to tell my wife this year because she got me the Bruzilla last year so we could make our own recipes. So I don't know what to tell her this year.
You should be good for a couple of years for that.
Right now, the way my back is feeling, I'll take a new back. So, anyways, we have a guest here. We had to postpone a little bit before we got him in here, and we are happy to have him a part of the show. Oh, welcome to the Central PA Pour.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Dude, hey, man. Tell us who you are and who you're with.
My name is Ryan Moncars. I'm with Snitz Creek Brewery based in Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Wow. So glad to have you here. I have heard of Snitz Creek. I've actually been to the one at Fort Indian Town Gap, but that's just basically the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like an outpost, a tasting room, a satellite, as you will.
Okay. So how did that come about from the brewery? Is that just something that the family wanted to do, or?
Yeah, it used to be a Funk's. The Funk's restaurant group bought us maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. And it used to be a Funk's. They wanted to get some booze out there. Okay. So they bought us and changed that into a Snitz Creek out there at the Fort Indian Town Gap location. And it's been doing really well.
Well, that's good. And I have heard of Snitz Creek. Now, we're not talking Schitt's Creek, the show.
No,
correct?
Okay. Not. We were around before them. We were here first.
Do you get that a lot? Like
we
Schitt's
do.
Creek?
And up at the Gap location, the manager is like a big fan of the show, so they actually have like a Schnitz Creek like trivia night, and I'm sure it gets confusing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I've never seen the show actually, but I have heard of it. Eugene Levy's in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like him and his eyebrows.
Yeah. And that's his son that plays his son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just had to throw that out there. I mean, I have heard of the Snitz Creek, mainly from the Gap, but I think I've heard of the Snitz Creek, but didn't know of it until I was going to the Gap and seeing it at the old Funk's, which I knew of it. Mm-hmm. And I've bought some of the beer, not knowing anything about it, and tried it. I had a good time, and I'm like, well, I need to reach out and get you guys on the show. So I appreciate Carmen making the introduction.
Absolutely, yeah. Carmen, shout out to Carmen. How you doing, Carmen?
Yeah, and getting you, and you are the head brewer.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been the head brewer, head of operations at Snitz for about 8-9 years, give or take. Yeah.
8 or 9 years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you're going on. You said
10 years.
We're working on 10-year anniversary.
January, like the first, second week in January, we're going on 10 years now.
So tell us a little bit how you got into being a head brewer.
Yeah, well, actually, I started as just a cook. I was like just cooking at the time when Snitz Creek just opened. I was always into craft beer. I always drank it prior to, but never brewed or anything before. But yeah, so I started in the kitchen. I just really worked hard, and I, said if anything ever opens up, I'd really love to get my foot in the door. So that opportunity came, and I really took advantage of it, and just really worked hard and learned as much as I could. Google's great.
Yes, it is.
Do you have a Google certification?
Yeah, Google, and the hands, learn through them hands. So I trained under the first brewer. He was a chemist. He actually works at Bear Aspirin now. So he's a legit chemist,
nice.
And he had some really great recipes actually. And a lot of the things that I do now, I actually learned from him. So we still continue a lot of his procedures, even 10 years later. But
wow.
Yeah, he left then to get other opportunities for him in the chemistry industry. So he went that route. We got another brewer in, and he just didn't really work out. He was full of information, but it didn't really translate to the final product. So I learned a lot of things on not what to do working under him. So then the opportunity came when they got rid of him. I said, I've been doing this for a while. Can I have a chance? Essentially, and yeah, that was like 8 or 9 years ago, give or take, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow! So congratulations.
Well,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah,
that is an awesome way to get into that foothold.
Yeah, I was really lucky. I had worked really hard, but I was lucky for the opportunity.
It seems,
for sure.
Yeah, that's what it seems. It seems like a lot of hard work went into that, not
absolutely.
just luck.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, anything I do, I like to invest all my effort into it. If I'm really into something, no matter what it is, I'd like to focus on it and really learn as much as I can and work hard at it.
Yeah, I always tell these guys, I said, I've got to go down the rabbit hole on this one, and it's one of those things where you go down the rabbit hole.
It never stops.
And it never stops. You just can't get out, and you're just on and on and on and on and on.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning new stuff.
I think every day everybody should be learning. If
Absolutely.
you're not learning anything, you're not growing.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's awesome. It's a great story and what we've found every time we've talked to somebody new, there's a unique story of how they got to where they're doing. And I think that's awesome that you went from working as a cook there and worked your way up to the head brewer. So congratulations.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
But speaking of a beer, you brought one here. You said this is your new one.
Yeah, this guy's fresh. Just canned him up Friday. New juicy guy. It's Hopper Dropper. It's an old name. We've had that name and tiddled with the recipe for a while. We finally really nailed it down recently. It's a juicy hazy IPA with Citra and Galaxy in it.
I can smell that.
Yeah.
Everything you said in there, it's right on my nose.
So this is a new beer, or is it an old beer rejuvenated?
It's essentially a new beer. The name has been around.
Okay.
Name has been around. It's come and gone. Not too many times. We've been playing with it. But yeah, brand new recipe.
Your recipe?
Yeah, my recipe.
Okay.
Lots of oats, a little bit of wheat.
So the oats are going to bring a little creamy texture to it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a nice, thick mouthfeel.
I can see it. You can see that it is nice.
Yeah,
thick, hazy.
You're not seeing through that guy.
No, and it's got a good citrus aroma. Cheers to the Hopper Dropper. All right, so I do get the definite notes of the citrus right up front on the palate. A little bit of dryness to it, but there is a creamy texture that sits on the mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. It's actually really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's creamy. I am not a hoppy beer type of person. And of course, Brett will tell you different. But I'm normally...
You love them.
Yeah. Normally, the hoppy beers and the sours I'm not real keen on. But
yeah.
Since you made this creamy...
It's a whole different mouthfeel.
It's different. Mm-hmm. It's a different feel because we're talking to our audience who want to know.
It's like drinking a juice.
How does Snitz Creek hoppy beers taste? And it's not too bad.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying.
Yeah. So tell us. You said something about the name and the logo.
Yeah. The name Hopper Dropper is actually a fly fish lure. It's like got a grasshopper on the top, which you get the hopper. Kind of like a play on words with the hops in the beer. So, okay. We have like a lot of fly fishing references in our name. The original owners were really into fly fishing on the Snitz Creek.
So that's where the logo comes from with the little...
fly.
I did a lot of fly tying back in my high school days.
Nice.
I never caught anything on them, but it was fun. It was a good activity in high school. Actually, I think I still have my fly tying kit. It's probably no good. I should open that up and see if there's any of the animal fur that's in there from like 35 years ago. That's probably pretty nasty.
If you do that on your own, don't call me. I'm not coming over.
So Snitz Creek, there's actually a creek up there, and that's where they actually came up with the idea.
Yeah. There's a creek that runs through towards in Cornwall area of Lebanon. There's a Snitz Creek that runs through there, and one of the original owners lived right on the Snitz Creek and did a lot of fishing on the Snitz Creek. Yeah, and
I think again the stories, the uniqueness of where the ideas come from and how they got into it is it's unique. Everybody has a different one, and that's why we love it. Everybody has a different story.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a unique industry,
and it's a huge it's getting bigger, even though we're losing some here and there.
Oh,
Back
there's
in-
more expanding and opening up.
Yeah, so for every one we lose, we're probably gaining another two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the bubbles and the bubble is peaked yet or burst. I don't know.
Yeah,
if it will.
they say that it is, but like I said, I mean, a lot of people are closing, but a lot of them are expanding too, and a lot of new ones are opening up. So, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the numbers are more of those expanding and opening up than those that are closing.
Yeah, you only hear about the ones that are closed. You only
Yeah,
never hear the bad news. You never hear the
Yeah,
good
I mean, yeah, bad news is what sells, so why not crank it out, bastards?
But I think it's the industry itself it's just in a whole is great, because you're coming up with different recipes on old stuff, on original styles, and you put your uniqueness to it. Like this, you said the oat and the wheat, that'll bring a creamy flavor to it, and that's where that mouthfeel's coming from. This is actually for the Citra. What'd you say was in it?
Citra and Galaxy.
And the Galaxy. So those are the Citra's going to bring more like a grapefruit citrus taste. The Galaxy, what does that bring? Because we're still learning what each hop brings to the palate.
Yeah. And it really you can utilize them different ways. If you boil the hell out of Citra, you'll get a lot of different flavors and of just dry hopping it. So each hop does have a wide range of flavor spectrum to it. But the way we utilize the hops in this, it's a lot of tropical, pineapple-y, mango, very light on the bitterness.
And is not very bitter. It's not bitter at all.
Yeah, it's definitely more on the juicy end.
Yeah, it's good. It's not on the bitter end. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll drink an IPA or anything that's really hoppy.
Yeah, West Coast. I can't handle. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like the
Oh no, wait,
the
no,
bad
we
word.
we
Yeah.
had a West Coast on here that didn't even taste like a West Coast. It was real.
If it's balanced, I mean,
really
even
good.
if you have a real bitter beer, if you get the malt base just right and you can balance those other hop flavors, there's nothing wrong with a lot of bitterness if you balance it. That's what I mean. I really will drink anything as long as it's well balanced and stuff. That's what I really look for in a beer. I don't try to say, oh, I only like this and that. If it's well balanced and drinkable, it doesn't matter what it is. It's good,
This is very drinkable.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And this one's new, right? You
Yeah,
you
brand spanking new.
So this one's on the shelves now.
Yeah, you'll be seeing it in the distribution soon. We got it at both Snitz locations, but you'll be seeing it in distribution soon around the Lebanon area.
Now, distribution, is it just in-house distribution, or do you put it in some local distributors, or how do you get the word out?
Yeah, we self-distribute. So we're actually trying to expand our distribution. We're expanding right now. We actually just bought Mount Gretna Brewing, but we had a hard time just keeping up essentially with all the Funk's Restaurant Group has like 10, 11 restaurants that we supply the beer to those guys, plus other restaurants in the Lebanon area, plus distributors in the Lebanon area. So we were having trouble keeping up, but we're expanding now. So we're hoping to expand our distribution area. We do a decent amount of distribution to a lot of, I'd say about 20 to 40 miles within the Lebanon area. So we're trying to get down here into York and Harrisburg, Lancaster areas.
We
and
might
Reading.
be able to help out with that.
Awesome, man. Yeah,
Let's
that'd
see
be
if we
great.
can get the word out.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's a small funny story about your Lebanon location. It was my wife works for a hospital, and she had to run up to the one in Lebanon.
Okay.
And of course,
Oh, is that picture you brought back and said, "Hey, I just passed Schitt's Creek."
I just passed the Schitt's Creek Brewery. I had to take a picture of your sign. Actually, I was in your driveway, not your driveway, but I was in your parking lot taking a couple of pictures.
Okay.
I was waiting for security to come out. What are you doing? But I took a couple of pictures of the sign because I wanted to show it to my wife because she's a big Schitt's Creek fan.
Yeah,
She watched-
people do love it. Yeah,
they watch the whole
we get
show.
that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I found it. I found a location for Schitt's Creek. And she says, what? And I said, look, see? And I showed her. But that was cool, that I saw that. And then when Brett said we're going to get them on the podcast, and I says, oh, now I know who they are.
Yeah, I think we're just joking. I mean,
Hey, man, it's all good. I get it. We've been here even before that show came out. We heard, you guys are up that
Shit
creek
Creek,
without
yeah.
the paddle. We did a beer called Without a Paddle, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, or up Snitz Creek. We've done a couple referring to that.
Playoffs. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
you can't escape it.
You have to have fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, naming the beers is got to be coming up with names is interesting. I know my wife said, "Oh, I want to name some beers." So then when we started brewing our own recipes, like
It's always
"All
fun.
We need to come up with names, and we're sitting there one night, and she's like throwing these names out, and I'd look on Untappd. Nope, too many references to that.
Yeah, it's hard to find an original name. There's so many breweries, and everybody wants to have that cool name.
Yep.
It's trickier than you think to come up with a unique. If you're the first one to do it, yeah.
So
Right.
we were drinking this one here that we just brewed. This is our home brew of our vanilla.
It's
bourbon
delicious,
stout.
by the way. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you are.
So I'm hoping we can come up with a name for that. I'm kind of thinking Jiminy Bean because I use Jim Beam in it, and the bean would be a play off of the vanilla.
For the vanilla bean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How about Dave's Brew?
Did you come up with the recipe? I don't care. We can call it Dave's Brew.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Dave's bean.
Dave's Beer.
So I appreciate your honesty on that because we never know. We like it, but it's good to have a professional side of it of what we do.
I'm very much enjoying it.
Thank you. And I think you and I had talked off, when we talked on the phone about, hey, we just bought the Mount Gretna area and maybe do a collab. Maybe we can upscale some of our stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely into that. We're definitely looking at doing some cool projects, working with either like local home brewers, even local college. We already work with LVC on a big brew for their homecoming, but more of like a science experiment, kind of cool, small batch kind of stuff too. So we're definitely trying to do all kinds of cool collabs coming up.
Speaking of your system, you said the main brewery is how big, and then what's the Gretna area going to be like?
So yeah, Snitz Creek, Lebanon, we have a 7-barrel system, and then we have 4 14-barrel fermenters. So sometimes I'll double up to fill them up or do a concentrated mash. But yeah, 14-barrel bright tanks. Mount Gretna is kind of all over the place. It looks like it's a 7-barrel system with a 10-barrel boil kettle. And
It was a hodgepodge of put together?
Yeah,
Okay.
it definitely looks a little hodgepodgey. We just got in there, so I'm still kind of trying to get all the details and everything, all my ducks in a row there. So we're probably about like 2 weeks away from brewing out there. But there's a 15-barrel fermenter, and I want to say 4 or 5 10-barrel fermenters, 7 to 10-barrel fermenters out there.
So you're going to be at both locations, or are they going to be you're going to be expanding and hiring an assistant head brewer?
Yeah, I'll be bouncing back. We won't be hiring like another head brewer. We may be hiring another guy, and everybody will essentially get promotions. I have a cellarman who might end up brewing, hopefully, in this foreseeable future. But we're essentially looking for somebody to replace what he's doing now. A lot of filling kegs, cleaning kegs, doing deliveries.
All the dirty work, cleaning out
the
mash tun.
Where you start. I started there too. Hey, so there's nothing wrong with starting at the bottom. I've done it.
We
so.
we heard how glorious of an affair cleaning out the mash tun is. So.
Yeah, I do that actually. I don't have anybody do that for me, so I'm still doing that even as the brewmaster.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we don't have one of them fancy ones that like you push a button and the rake starts spinning.
You got to get
and
in there with the old shovel and
yeah, I
paddles.
literally have to scoop every single little grain out. Yeah, but it's romantic, I'm the one doing it. I got my hands in there. I'm involved and we make good beer.
I think when
Kevin did that.
What?
Kevin,
Yeah, he did that when we went into gift tours.
In the gift tours,
he helped clean out the
he
mash
was
tun.
cleaning out the mash. I
It's
thought that was
it's
cool.
not easy, and then pulling it out to wherever the farmer collects it. That's like a whole thing too.
Now, do you do any, like you said, you're interested in doing collab work and stuff like that? Do any of the other brewers in the area, do you guys get together and work together on certain ideas? Or?
Yeah. We've collabed with Rotunda a couple times. The Pilgaroo guys up north. I wish I could collab more. I don't get out enough to like say, hey man, I love your beer and can we collab sometime? So I'm always brewing and doing the family stuff. So it's hard for me to get out and really do, but we are very much into collabs. We did a collab with who was that recently? Oh man, I'm having a brain fart.
I have lots of those.
Yeah.
So I know.
Hey, we all do. You'll think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shout it out right in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we found that everybody in this community, they all work together.
Yeah, it's very, the camaraderie is great. It's very like a lot of brotherly love kind of thing. Yeah, it's competitive to a certain degree, but when it really boils down to it, everybody's got your back, and they'll help you when they can, for sure. I've never come into a situation where
somebody said no.
gives you the cold shoulder. Yeah, everybody's great, willing to lend a helping hand.
Now, you said you've been out there about 10 years, and truthfully, I wouldn't have never guessed that by looking at you.
Yeah.
You're that old to have been in this business.
Yeah,
that
I'm
long.
older than I look. I look young. I'm going to be 36 on New Year's Eve.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve,
New Year's
yeah.
Eve.
So a double celebration.
Yeah, everybody parties on my birthday.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but does everybody bring you a birthday gift?
I fall through the cracks a little bit,
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's better than New Year's Eve than Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I was going to say, Christmas Eve.
Because
Yeah,
you get gypped.
definitely.
Yep, you get gypped on Christmas or Christmas Eve. So speaking of that, we are coming into the holiday season, and we just came out of basically what they call the festival season.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys get out to the festivals? Do you guys do any of that stuff like in the summer, the fall, or the spring?
Absolutely, yeah. We do a bunch of festivals. Not as hard as we used to when we first started, but we still make our rounds for sure. We just recently did Autos and Ales in Hershey.
Is that the one at the Auto Care Museum?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Hershey, the Antique Auto Museum. It's a lot of fun. I mean, they're all great. They're all lots of fun. So yeah, we were making our rounds there, but it's like about dying down now with the holidays and the cold weather coming.
Yeah, and then it'll pick up again with the farm show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the
that's
farm
coming
show
up. The farm
has-
show. I always forget about that one. That's like December.
It's usually January.
January, yeah,
We're
January.
we're trying to figure out if we can get in there,
Oh, you guys should definitely get in there. That'd be cool.
but we don't want to pay X amount of dollars. And then I think Kevin was looking into it, and then she goes, "Well, we can't guarantee you're going to be where the craft brew people are." I'm like, "Well, that's kind of what we're doing."
Yeah. What's the point then?
Yeah, we wouldn't look good over in the milkshake area.
Hey, sample some of this Holstein milk. Tell us what you think. No, we're trying to get up there because we did 2 of them this year, the Brew Kids on the Block, and we just did the Oktoberfest.
Cool.
And we're trying to get out to some more of these. Schoolkill invited us to theirs on
Nice,
the
yeah.
18th, which by this comes out, it already had been passed, but we're starting to get some recognition too that people want us there, and we love it. We want to be out more. It's just everything takes time.
Hey man, I know all about that.
Yeah.
Time and effort.
I know. I mean, we've had a heck of a time just getting back and forth on connection. It's
Yeah,
like, 'cause
sorry
you're-
about that. I appreciate you guys having me and having some patience waiting for me and stuff.
When you told me why, I'm like, hey, we understand.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had several guests on. It's like, when we get them on and they explain why. We understand completely why. Everybody has a regular life.
Yeah.
This is just a side gig. So
Hey, I wouldn't miss it though. I'm glad you guys are having me. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad we're doing it in person instead of remotely. It's
Definitely.
much more fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot
for
more
sure.
fun. Yeah.
Plus, I get to drink this awesome beer.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. We're out there, and I hope I'm not sure if it's quite done carbonated because we just did it like a day and a half ago. So
It could use a little more, but I drink stuff out the fermenter all the time. I don't need any carbonation. You know what I mean? I'm good just straight up. So
yeah, I even
it's
think I ate
perfect
some
for me.
I think I even ate some of the grain after we were done brewing it that day. I'm like, you know what? That grain ain't too bad. It's a little dry, but
Yeah, I know people refurbish it into granola. You can kind of like reconstitute sugars back into it, fruits and nuts and stuff turn into granola. People making dog treats out of it. So there's lots of uses for spent grain.
That's
It's tasty.
It's good. It gets recycled out, not just thrown out. And I throw mine up in the hedgerow, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Nothing's eating it yet. What are some of your other interests outside of brewing? I know you don't have a lot of time, you said, but what are your other interests?
Family is definitely number one. My 2 daughters, I spend a lot of time with them. Their family's everything to me, so I spend a lot of time with family. I play drums in a band too.
Oh, Dave, no, you guys are going to be right on. You guys are going to be able to talk forever.
My band days are behind me. I mean,
I'm about there too, honestly. I mean, I got a couple more years, but
Okay.
it's with family and brewing. It's hard to find time to do anything else.
I think the day that I figured it out was I woke up at maybe about 4:00 in the morning and my ears were still ringing. And I said, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I mean, you could just do it. And we were extremely loud. We were an extremely loud band. Everybody.
That's the good ones. Only the good ones are loud.
Yeah. We had one place we pulled into, and we were just unloading the truck, and the guy walked out and said, "You guys are too loud." We said, "We haven't even set up yet." He said, "I'm looking at what you're taking off the truck. You're too loud."
I've been there. Yeah, we've rolled up to a couple of spots and they're like, "You got a lot of stuff."
You got a lot of stuff.
What's your genre that you play?
We play like classic rock, coming into like newer '90s alternative, early 2000s and stuff. Nothing super new, like more like classics kind of thing.
I think we had Hell in a Bucket on here, and they're down in Wrightsville, and
Okay.
they have an open mic night on Thursday night, and it's just a small joint.
Where are
in
they
Wrights-
located?
Right on the river in Wrightsville,
I'll have to check
Front
them out.
Street.
Okay.
They have an open mic night. You just get down there with whatever music you want to play, like you're a musician, and they just they jam.
That's all. Yeah, jamming's
it's-
fun. Open mic nights are great.
It is fucking loud.
Yeah.
Because it is a small joint, but they have a hell of a good vibe, and it's somebody will get up and they just start playing, and somebody else hops up, and I think it was when I was down there, it was just like, wow, this is awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what I envy about musicians. You don't need to know the music. All you need
Yeah.
to hear is hear it, and you can get up and just start playing.
Yeah, that's some of my best memories, and some of the best feeling is just jamming when you got a bunch of people. I remember just hanging out in before I played drums, before I really got into music like that. I went over to this guy's house and we were hanging out, and he just kind of started passing out instruments like maracas and like guitars, anything,
Anything to make a
and
music.
bongos, yeah, just all kinds of stuff. And everybody had an instrument, and then somebody started playing, and then it just built on that. And it was a lot of fun, just being in that moment, jamming off of everybody. And that's when, it's music is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I played piano, but if you didn't have the music in front of me, I couldn't play it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it off ear, couldn't do it off memory, no thanks. But I think I love that about the musician. And, if you guys just hear it, you can just, hey, I'm picking it up and I'm just going. I think it's awesome.
It's super fun.
But if you ever get a chance, go down there to Hell in a Bucket.
Hell in a Bucket. Yeah, I definitely got to check them out for
and
sure.
it's usually Thursday nights, they're open mic, and it's just anybody shows. I mean, when we were down, I was down there, there's like 15 people just waiting to get up there and start jamming.
That's the thing. Yeah, musicians just love to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just for the love of doing it. Yeah, that sounds like a cool vibe. I definitely want to check that out.
It was a vibe.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good vibe. Grateful Dead vibe. He was a deadhead.
Yeah.
They were deadheads. So everything is like you're naming stuff off of like fly fishing and creek area. They're naming stuff off Grateful Dead music. So
That's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. But speaking of beer, we got another one sitting here.
Yeah, this guy's Citra Haze.
So
Not
this-
quite as hazy as the last guy.
No, but I tell you what, it's actually
It's got a little haze.
It's got a little haze, but it is a crystal clear. So it's definitely been well filtered.
Actually, we don't filter our beer.
You don't filter
No, we
this
don't.
one?
We don't filter any beers. None of our beers are filtered
Well,
at
then
all.
that's a damn good clear beer.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
So tell us a little about. You said this is a flagship, right?
Yeah, this is our flagship. It's pretty much all Citra. A tiny little bit of like CTZ for the bittering. Barely any at all. I wouldn't even. It's basically like 99.9999% Citra.
And I like some of those that just concentrate on the one hop.
Yeah, it's nice. So you get an appreciation for
Right,
what it is.
exactly.
Now, I enjoy single hop IPAs for sure.
So is this? You said this is a flagship. So this isn't your original recipe. This
No,
is,
yeah.
Oh, this is your recipe.
Yeah, yeah.
then?
This is So
Okay.
the original brewer was only there for about a year. He
Okay.
did put a lot of flagships in place. The Blueberry opening day. We have a Blonde Ale Explorer. There's a few others, but
Okay, so then that's awesome.
yeah, I've definitely. We have a couple. There's probably like 3 or 4 flagships that I've created the recipes for.
Cheers,
Cheers, man.
Citra Haze. Actually, you know what? It's not overly bitter.
No, it's
You
it's
said
very
you-
similar.
You put some bittering agent in it, but
Barely any. It's very similar to the hopper dropper.
I get
very
more
little.
of a malt sweetness in the back end of it,
Mm-hmm.
rather than that upfront citra note.
Yeah. It tastes like it's hazier than what it looks.
It
It's
does.
juicy. Yeah, it's juicy as heck. Yeah.
So is any of this base similar to what we had with the
The hopper dropper.
yeah?
It is similar. Not quite as much oats, no wheat. And then so So we get really nice yeast. It's the same yeast strain actually too in the hopper dropper, but with the Citra Haze, because I'm making it like all the time, we reuse the same yeast pitch like up to like 4 or 5 times, and by the 4th or 5th time, it starts to fade out like this. So the first time when I make Citra Haze with the yeast, it looks like hopper dropper, but by the 4th or 5th,
It starts to clear out.
Yeah, so now I just got to go ahead to, buy yeast more often and using it for other things other than our hazy. So Citra Haze is going to turn into hopper dropper, the looks of it anyways. The taste is very similar, you know what I mean? It's not going to, the taste won't change much, but
I enjoy it.
yeah, it's a reason why it's a flagship. Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what Dave says. I always throw him under the bus, and then I back it up.
Yeah, and then runs over me again. But it actually is a pretty good beer. I like this.
Thank you.
Yeah. In fact, I like it a little bit better than the hopper dropper.
Yeah, not quite. Hopper dropper's got a little bit more bitterness to it, a little, but not much. Yeah, Citra hops. It's pretty hard to not make a good beer when you're working with Citra hops. They're just so delicious.
When you hear like the 4 C's, so it's Citra, Chinook, Cascade, and Centennial. Or is that what like the 4 C's?
There's so many. I mean, there's
but like most of those are people put in an IPA.
Yeah. Chinook.
I
Cascade,
haven't even really heard
Centennial.
Chinook for a while.
Yeah, Chinook isn't really as big as it used to be. That's for sure.
And people don't realize the yeast makes a big difference in the flavor of the beer.
Oh,
too.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeast is really the name of the game. As far as like if you're trying to get that haze and stuff like that, and certain juicy aspects.
Especially wild yeast.
Yeah, I mean, yeast really can change your beer profile so much. So we do some stuff sometimes where I'll make a big batch, but then we have like a whole bunch of small little half barrel fermenters. So sometimes I'll experiment and just like pull a half barrel to the side and pitch it with a different yeast. And just to see like, this is the same beer, but with a different yeast, or we dry hop it with a different hop. And it's really cool to see just how much the flavor profile can change.
And that's the uniqueness of this whole industry. It's the creativity that guys like you are coming up with, and like, okay, let me take this beer and let me put this over here and see what we get out of it. And we've heard that from several people that some fuck ups have become best-selling beers for them.
Yeah, experimentation, that's the only way you learn new things and figure out new techniques and things like that. So it's definitely it's important in this industry to experiment. And just like cooking, like cuisine and general flavors in general, you got to experiment and go outside the box a little bit sometimes.
Speaking of outside the box, I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah, man.
The fucking seltzer.
I knew you were going to say it.
The seltzer bologna smoked beer.
Yes, sir. That's what we do. But Lebanon Bologna, man, we're famous for it. So we had to. Yeah, we had to do it.
And I'll be totally honest, Ryan. I mean, I bought a 4-pack up there at Funk's at the 40 Newtown Gap. It's like, because it was a smoked beer. Like, I'm like, all right, let me try that. But then it was Lebanon Bologna. And I'm like, all right, I'll be honest. It was like taking a piece of bologna and just liquefying it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my cup of tea. It was different and unique. I will say that to the least. And you guys had the same thing I did. It's like, ooh, it's a little different.
It's a niche. It's a niche beer. That's for sure.
So tell us a little bit about that idea, because that is definitely outside the box.
Yeah, no, it's outside the box for sure. And that was put in place before I was there. But I'm glad they did. So, as you know, like Lebanon's famous for bologna, which is great quality stuff, actually. So, Lebanon bologna in general, it's like 100% beef. There's no like pork products in it. It's premium cuts, and they smoke it with like really good wood. And seltzers, where we take it, they're one of the only. They're like the last bologna place or any smoked meat plates that's allowed to smoke in a hardwood. Like everybody else has to do stainless now, unless you're grandfathered in from the past. You can't build like a new wooden smoke
house.
That's interesting.
Like because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of like health industry changing and stuff. Everybody's got to be stainless now. So, but because they were so old, they were grandfathered in, so they still smoke it in the wood stacks, which is really cool. But yeah, we take the grain out there and they give it the same treatment that they do their bologna. It gets smoked out there, and then we bring it back and we brew with it. And
so all that flavor's coming out of the grain catching all that smoke.
Yep.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about 15, between 10 and 20% somewhere in there of the malt bill is the smoked grain. And when they were experimenting with the design, the first couple batches were like 70%, 80%, 90%. So you can think how it is now with like 10% smoky, like imagine like 70, 80, 90% of the grain. Like right now it's like 15.
I think that's interesting that all that bologna flavor comes just from the grain sitting in the smokehouse.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's wow.
Yeah, the bologna's in there too, and there's probably bologna essence like in that wood.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like so.
So now you need to come up with like some kind of Monterey Jack offset so you can mix the two.
That's awesome. Cheese and meat tray.
Yeah.
We'll throw some lactose in.
Well, you can call it the fucking charcuterie.
The
beer.
charcuterie beer. That's cool. But no, smokehouse though, it's great for cooking. Like if you got some extra hanging around that you're not into drinking, marinate some steaks in there like overnight and
now
then throw
you're
them on the grill the next day. It makes great barbecue sauces.
Wow.
Dude, you're making me hungry.
I'm getting
Yeah.
hungry. That's what I was going to say.
It's great for cooking, and we actually do a barrel aged version of it too.
I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah, and I really enjoy that. I'm not the biggest fan of the original version either. There's a demand enough for us to keep making it, so we do keep making it like once or twice a year. But we always make sure we put some to the side to put in whiskey barrels from Hidden Still, and it's great. It's really yummy.
You and I were talking about that when you got here, and I'm like, you know what? I may have to try that.
Yeah, the smoke in that whiskey, it's really nice together.
'Cause you told me what? Some people said it almost tastes like smoking a good cigar.
Yeah, like you're smoking a good cigar and drinking some whiskey with like a dark beer next to you, not roasty dark, but like something with some malt flavor to it. The malt in that beer is great. It's like basically a Vienna lager recipe sort of. Although it's an ale, not a lager. But so there's a lot of great malt characteristics. The smoke, once it's in that whiskey barrel, the wood, it's great.
And you said you wouldn't mind tweaking that recipe to make it some kind of a lager.
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
a little bit more sweetness.
Yeah,
to
absolutely. Yeah. So I've actually been thinking recently because you got to be careful when you're changing your flagships and things
Yeah.
that people know and love. So. But yeah, I've been bouncing the idea in my head. Like I'd really like this better as a lager, I think. But
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see where the road takes us.
It was a very interesting beer.
It is. It is an interesting beer. And actually, I took a sample down to Tired Hands like years and years ago, and they made a Bologna beer like a couple months. I don't know if it was because I brought them a sampler or they heard
had
of it.
to have been.
Yeah, but I was like, holy shit! I was like, they made a Bologna beer. I never saw somebody else make a Bologna beer. So
And I think that's what makes everybody unique.
yeah,
I mean,
doing something different.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I like the idea of marinating a steak in it.
It's great for cooking. Yeah,
Wow.
I
Never thought of
definitely.
that.
Yeah, I recommend it for sure.
So, what other interests you got? I mean, like here you said something about like the Marvel side, the
Yeah,
Star Wars. Dude,
oh my
I'm a
gosh,
Star
yeah.
Wars geek, man.
Nice, okay,
I
awesome,
grew up
yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I love Star Wars too. I actually, it's sort of disappointing that I'm not really a fan of like a lot of the new content. Ahsoka was great. I liked Ahsoka, but
It actually was. I think a lot of these spin-offs that Disney's are doing is like they're trying to fill in the gaps, and
it's cool. I
they're
like
building
the
up
idea.
to a new trilogy.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, it's better than the last trilogy that they put out.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that one.
Really?
I did. I did enjoy that one. Of course, not as much as the original three,
Yeah.
but I grew up with.
The prequels, when they first came out, a lot of people hated on them, and I was always like, the original are better than.
That's your generation.
Yeah, but the prequels have grown on me for sure. Episode 1, 2, and 3 are definitely not. I don't hate on them as much as I did when I was younger and they first came out. So maybe when the new ones sit on me for a little bit, but I just hate in the newest episode. Was that 9? Where they're like, oh, the Emperor just came back.
Yeah, they brought the Emperor back
somehow.
After Vader threw him off the pillar, there.
Which I'm cool. I don't mind that, but it just seems like they just throw stuff together like last minute.
I think the way they're going with it is they have to bring out new ideas and keep the story end open.
Yeah.
To bring in a next generation to enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I loved Ahsoka was great, and so was the Mandalorian. I really liked it like that.
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yeah, Boba Fett series. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, the Marvel stuff I'm really into. So the season finale of Loki just dropped. Are you into that at all? The Marvel stuff?
I'm not big into the Marvels. I kind of watched the Loki, but
Yeah.
dude, you better be smoking some dope or crack to follow that fucking thing. I'm telling you, it's out there.
Yeah, it is
out there.
It is. It actually, watching it kind of reminds me of some bad acid trips I've had in the past.
That's what I was going to say. You need to be on something to follow the storyline because it is fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, if you hadn't watched any of the Marvels, Loki was Thor's brother, the bad guy, and now all of a sudden he's this good guy fighting something with time, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like how they incorporate that mythology, the Norse mythology, and they try to like stay true to that. It's really cool. I enjoy that aspect of the Marvel universe.
And I guess you almost have to be following that because that's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like they come out with a new movie, and it's like, where did that fit in? It's like, okay, I'm not
It's a
big
lot.
into it. Dave's more into the Star Trek series, and he wasn't into the Star Wars stuff. So we kind of
You're a Trekkie.
Yeah, I enjoyed and I'm also a 007.
Okay. I like the
Man.
old Bonds for sure.
I like them.
Oh.
But the old Bonds.
ask,
the old ones.
see if he knows the answer to our first trivia question we ever asked on this show.
He won't.
Probably not.
He won't. He won't get it. I'm not going to ask him.
No, just do it. Do it.
Okay, the Bond series. There was a. Are you familiar with the old Bonds, right?
Yeah. Roger Moore and
And
going
all
back before
all those
that.
guys.
Yeah.
Who was the first actor that ever played James Bond?
oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I want to say not.
I will give you a hint, Ryan. It ain't who you think it is.
Yeah, no, I'm sure like the big star that everybody thinks it's probably like some lesser known actor before him or something. But yeah, I don't know. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's not
Connery.
not
Connery,
Sh-
that's who I was, Connery.
It's not Sean Connery.
That's who I would have guessed. I was like, I know there's a big
Yeah.
name that I want to throw out
Yeah.
there.
It's actually a little known actor. His name is Barry Nelson.
Barry Nelson. It's ringing a little bell because I do enjoy the old ones.
But it wasn't a movie. It was
wasn't-
it was a TV
It was a
series.
TV
Oh,
series.
okay. All right.
Connery
And
was the first movie actor.
Okay.
Barry Nelson was the first actor that played him, and this is before Connery.
Yeah.
And he played him on a mystery series, and they happened to do the James Bond book Casino Royale.
Okay.
And they did that with Barry Nelson. And for a lot of people, that's when I can't remember Saltzman and Broccoli, I think, are the two guys that came up with the movies. That's why they didn't do Casino Royale as the first movie. They did Dr. No because of the fact that Casino Royale was already done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We tried to incorporate Dave's trivia questions because he could stump us.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're not doing live stuff, so we weren't getting interactive, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. Let me look it up on my phone quick so I can look smarter.
That's
later, and when you
the
post
problem,
edit it.
the problem is when you look it up on your phone, Connery's going to come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to really search for
You
the
probably
answer.
have to like the TV star something. Yeah.
it
Because
was-
the
it was-
question was who was the first actor?
Not the
I
first
didn't say movie. I
Yeah.
didn't say TV. I
I
didn't say anything.
gotcha.
Who was the first actor?
Oh,
You're
that
good.
portrayed-
You're a good trivia guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He
I
can
did
stump
that
us.
with quite a few trivia questions where I know the answer to that. And then they come out with this and they're googling it and they're coming up and I said, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
That's when you got a good question and we can like stump them even with Google.
So what is your coming into the holiday season? Does any of the locations do anything like you guys got like live music stuff like that going on? Any festivals or festivities that you do? What's some of the stuff you guys got planned around what you do?
Yeah, we always do. We always have live music all throughout the year, summer, winter, indoor, outdoor, whatever.
And is
so-
that at the Lebanon, not the Fort Indian Town Gap?
I think both. I think
Okay.
my band has actually played at the Gap before.
Okay.
Yeah, so both locations do music. I'm sure we'll do music at the
At the one up in
Campbelltown,
Gretna?
Palmyra.
Yeah.
Palmyra.
Yeah, it's called Gretna. It's in Campbelltown, Palmyra address. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we don't know what we're gonna call it yet.
It's in between.
Okay.
It's in between
Yeah.
Harrisburg and Lebanon.
Yeah.
It's all you
Well,
need
it's
to
going to
know.
be called Snitz Creek something.
Snitz Creek something. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's kind of cool.
I'm hoping arcade. I'm trying to convince them to get like arcade games in there. I think
To
that'd
do
be
like
cool.
an old school arcade.
Yeah, like pinball and
I'll
like
be up.
Pac-Mans and
Dude,
stuff,
I'm
like
telling you
Galaga,
what, that would
Joust.
that would bring a whole different genre in there. I
come
mean,
on.
Yeah,
an
I think so.
interesting- That's an interesting concept.
Plus, you got the kids. There's like baseball stadiums right there too. So there's like tons of kids, lots of families. I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
So hopefully my boss hears this and puts some arcade games.
There you
in
go.
That would be awesome. I mean, like old school arcade. I mean, you don't even see that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I think the last time I went into an arcade, it was like $2 to play. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, I
What?
wouldn't want. There's an arcade at the Berks Mall, and the games are only like 25 cents, 50 cents to play. It's great. Imprint has an arcadium where I don't even think you pay. I think all the games are free. If I'm not, I haven't been there. But I want to check it out. There's Brewcade in Philadelphia, or what's it? Barcade. That's it. But it's definitely a thing that's growing. Like beer. I mean, Dave and Buster's. That's always been around. But
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah,
We have
but
one
like.
yeah.
Yeah, but like the old
Bring that
school
nostalgia
arcade.
back,
Yeah,
I
for
mean.
sure. Yeah, I'm all about that too.
Back when I grew up, well, not when you grew up, Dave. I still had horse carriages and stuff. But we used to at least go run the circuit and walk the mall and hit the arcade.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got to throw him on it. I always do it. Always bust his balls.
Do it back. Throw it back.
Oh, he does.
I'll get him back. Yeah.
He does once in a while. But that's a cool idea. I mean,
Yeah, it
is.
a new brew
Yeah.
pub with nostalgic arcade games like Pac-Man and Galaga, stuff like that.
Yeah, old school Street
pinball.
Fighter, pinball. Yeah, pinball's great, man.
We
I
have
love
Dave and
pinball.
Buster's down here. It's up on 15. It's not too far from here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's up.
I never knew that.
Yeah. It's, what is it, up 15? I think it's up near, what's the name of that place that Sandy likes to shop at? Trader Joe's.
Oh,
I love Trader Joe's. I
Yeah.
haven't been to a Trader Joe's since I lived
Yeah.
in Philly in like 2012, though. So I don't know how it is anymore. But
Oh.
man, Trader Joe's is awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we had one in Lebanon.
They have pretty good stuff in there. It's
Yeah.
just, it's not like you're going to go into a Walmart or anything and find stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you go in and you find a lot of unique stuff, good stuff.
No crackheads in there. In Trader Joe's. No crackheads in Trader Joe's.
Okay, I was looking for them.
Well, you said Walmart. They're all over the place in Walmart. So
no, everything's in Walmart. As far as what are the holiday plans? What are you looking to get out of the holidays, Ryan?
well, we always we release a cranberry porter.
Cranberry porter.
Cranberry porter, yeah, is always pretty yummy. Pumpkin pie ale, but that's kind of on its way out now. But yeah, it's definitely getting into stout season. We do a 12 days of Snitz, like where we release 12 different beers leading up to Christmas. So
Oh
that's
shit! Sounds like we're going to Snitz Creek.
yeah. You definitely got to
Yeah.
come check that out. They're
12
always,
days in a row.
Yeah, 12 days in a row, different
12 days
beers.
in a row.
We do about a sixtel of each, so not too much of each variety of beer that we do, but we release it, crowler a couple of them, and release it on draft. Every third or fourth day, we take off like the oldest one and put a new one back on. So
That's interesting. That's awesome, man.
yeah. So that's a lot of fun and always, tricky to come up with 12 new flavors every single year right before Christmas, but it's fun. I like being creative and I like being challenged. So
And that's we started that kind of off. I mean, it's how you learn,
absolutely, yeah.
and that's how everything can progress because you're constantly stepping outside that box to come up with different and unique ideas.
Yeah.
And you almost have to because it is we mentioned it, it's an overflooded market.
Mm-hmm.
What making Snitz Creek different from somebody that's right down the street?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the difference? We like it all. I think every brewery we have, I mean, down here in downtown York, 6 of them? There's 6 right in downtown. Mm-hmm. They're all They're all good. They're all unique.
Yeah.
And we try to hit them every once in a while, all 6 of them.
Yeah. Don't always make it.
Yeah, we don't always make it.
What's some of your other interests? Do you watch any sports?
I'm not into sports actually. Not
Okay.
not a sports guy. Yeah, never. I like playing sports. Don't get me wrong. I played soccer when I was a kid. I rode BMX. basketball, whatever, bowling. I love sports, baseball. I never understood watching sports, watching somebody else do something that I would want to do myself,
Sure.
or just like
Sure.
sitting there. Yeah. I mean, I know everybody loves sports, but I never got it. Didn't.
That's fine. I mean, you mentioned you got some dollars, but before we get into that, we still have a couple beers sitting here.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you said this is another flagship. This is the
Blueberry?
the Blueberry.
Yeah. Number one seller, actually.
Your number one seller.
Number one seller, yeah. Distributors love this. People really enjoy it. It's just a little bit of blueberry. It still tastes like beer. It's not like a overly fruited beer, so you still get some beer out of it.
And it's
for
a
sure.
cream ale, correct?
Cream ale, yep.
So that means you got some oats or flaked into it.
Cream ale is corn, so
Corn,
either
the
corn
maize,
or
the
corn
maize.
sugar for
Okay.
a cream ale. So there's flaked corn in here.
And that gives that creamy that backbone of it. It's
Yeah.
supposed to bring a creamy mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Oats definitely oats blow corn out of the water as far
Yeah.
as like mouthfeel goes and stuff.
okay.
But yeah, it's good. Corn definitely leaves a flavor. Corn has its own unique flavor as well.
So it's the blueberry cream ale. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna cheers this
Cheers.
out. So cheers to the blueberry cream ale. You know what? That's
Definitely.
just enough blueberry.
Yeah.
And it just lingers
And
right
that-
there on the palate. And I'm getting a lot of that creaminess, that nice smooth feeling to finish it off. That's damn good.
Yeah, it's our number one seller for a reason. It's a great beer, and we do a vanilla cream ale, raspberry, apricot. We do all kinds of different variations
So
of
you
it.
take your base and you
Finish it with different things, but blueberry still remains tried and true. People just love the blueberry. Yeah.
yeah. So is this one of your original recipes or
No, so blueberry was in place before I got in. And actually, when I first started, I started about 3 months after it opened. I started, and right when I started was right when Blueberry was being released, and it was like a small batch series at the time, and it just sold like hotcakes. So then they did it again and again, and like by the third or fourth time, they're like, "We need this like all the time." So, yeah.
So this is one of your double batch sitting in a 14 barrel.
Oh my gosh,
fermenters, yes.
I brew this. I brew a 14 barrel batch of this like every other week. Sometimes every week. It's nuts. Yeah, it flies. Yeah, distributors buy it like hotcakes, and
It's actually really good.
yeah, people really enjoy it.
And I'm not a big blueberry fan, but that's just perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So you mentioned you have some daughters. How old are your daughters, and
Yeah. So
how often you see them since you're so busy brewing
Yeah.
and all that stuff?
I have 2 daughters. One is 11. She'll be 12 in February. Her name is Lily, and then I have another flower. Her name is Violet. So yeah, both my daughters are named after flowers, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Violet, I don't get to see as much as I'd like to, but hopefully I can start seeing her more often. I see her like twice a week or so. But Lily, I have full custody of, and she's awesome. She's doing really good in school.
Keeps you busy.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and it's great watching them grow up and learn things and discover their own passions and stuff like that.
Any of them have the passion to be another brewer?
Yeah, Lily is always like, "Can I make a label? I want to make a
Oh.
label. You should do this. I like this fruit. You should mix this with that." And she's always in with me.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, she's definitely into the art side of it and creating like blending flavors and stuff. So we'll see when she gets older if she wants to keep going. It's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing's easy.
That's true. Yeah. Anything that you want to work hard for. Yeah.
And that's what you have to follow your passion, and you got to put the effort in. It just doesn't come.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think
You
it's
have-
awesome.
You have you were talking about the artwork in you made me think about. I was on your site and I was kind of impressed with the can art
Thank you.
page.
My girlfriend does a lot of can art, and then we have a tattoo artist who does a lot of can art too
Oh, okay.
for us. Yeah, I wish I could do art. I wish I was a better artist. I have so many great ideas in my head, but I can't translate them down into a
Neither
finished
can I.
product.
I can't even draw a stick figure.
Yeah.
Can't do it either.
So it's nice. It's actually nice in this industry because we can find an artist and I can say, hey, like I have this idea in my head. This is what I'm thinking, and then watching them bring it to fruition. It's nice.
Do you think maybe Lily might have some of that talent.
Absolutely.
To make the next can art for you guys.
It's coming. Yeah, we all have kids. There's two other guys that work with me. There's like a general manager. He helps with a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the bureaucracy and just keeping like the ball moving forward and stuff like that, invoicing and stuff like that. So he does a lot of stuff like that. He helps out in the brewery during canning and stuff too. He helps out a lot. And then I have a cellarman, and all of us have kids, and they're all like itching to make labels for us and stuff. So we're gonna have some cool kid art coming soon.
I think that's awesome. That is awesome. Kid art.
Yeah. No,
kid art.
Yeah.
That's some hidden talent there. You should,
for sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's definitely coming. It's you have so many ideas. It's hard to get them all shoved down the pipeline.
Yeah.
You know.
Now you mentioned you got the place in Lebanon, which is the original, right?
Yeah, we do all the brewing there. So the Gap location is, like I said, a satellite. We do all the brewing from Lebanon, and then we ship it out to the other locations. Plus, Funk Zone's like 11 other places. It's nuts. Yeah.
Now, is the Lebanon place have food?
Yep. We got food, and our chef is great. He does a lot of in-house smoking, so the pork and the brisket is smoked in-house. He's a really great chef. Everything he does.
Taking it over to Seltzer's.
That's nice.
Not that far, but we do all kinds of great stuff. Our chef is wonderful. Everything he makes is off the chain.
We're gonna have to get up to the Lebanon one because I've been to I quite regularly stop at the Funks and at the Gap because my riding club goes up there, and we go up there to inspect the Avenue of Flags, and that's how I got to know where Snitz Creek was. I'm like, oh shit, now we're a brewery.
Yeah.
The downside is we're there early in the morning, and they can't sell it to me like till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, the beer. Yeah,
and I'm like, come on, I'm just walking out. Can I just get a 4-pack? No, you got to come back at 10. Like shit.
It is a shame because they do good breakfast out there too.
Yeah, and I'm not a big breakfast guy, but yeah, we'll stop there after Flags sometimes and just grab breakfast before we hop on the motorcycles and continue riding. So.
You have to tell somebody, the uninformed here, is there a reason that they can't sell it before 10, or is that a rule? Or
it's a Pennsylvania thing. I mean,
it's
we weren't even
license.
allowed to sell booze on Sundays for a while. It's only recently that
I remember that.
Yeah, so Pennsylvania alcohol laws have always just been like super strict. I'm not really sure exactly.
Everything in Pennsylvania is super strict.
Yeah, I know. But I just
taxed.
Yeah.
That's the first time I of course, I've never gone around trying to buy beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's some bikers that might want to do that, but not me.
We got hit real hard one year for what's that holiday? St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we started serving beer at like 9 a.m. St. Patty's Day fell on a Sunday that year. And we're like, we advertised it and everything. We're like, we're serving beer at 8 or 9 a.m., something like that. And
Come commune with us, right?
Yeah,
told everybody.
PLCB was like, hey, we're coming too. You know? Or TTB, whoever it was. Yeah, so we got hit for that. It was just kind of being unaware because there's so many rules. It's hard to like not break them.
And there's different levels of the liquor license.
Yeah. So
you
manufacturing,
might have this one, you can't have.
Yeah, having a manufacturer's license is different than having like a liquor license. So the rules are different. And during COVID, where it was like these people are allowed to sell mixed drinks to go, but you're not. You know, because
you didn't have the license for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of PA's funny.
Speaking of that, I mean, how did you guys? Everybody's story was unique. How they got through the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
So how did you guys forego that?
Yeah, so we were actually really heating up right before the pandemic hit. Like we were popping. We were like things were really great. And then the pandemic happened and we took like a week off, but we were already like behind because we were just like things were great and we didn't like start expanding yet. So I was after about a week of off, I was like, hey, like, can I just come in and catch up essentially? Like once we open, I want to be ready for it essentially. So I was in there brewing and all of a sudden people are knocking at the doors like people are standing out like looking in the windows and stuff. And like, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, you guys selling beer? Like what's going on? So I called the owner. I was like, hey, like I'm just going to start selling these people beer cash. You know what I mean? Like, cause I didn't know how to work the POS system. So I said, let's let some people in, and we'll just sell them beer cash. And then it started getting so busy, and they wanted food. So I was like, you need to hire like a bartender. Like you need to hire somebody to do this. So it just kind of snowballed from there. We were first just doing like fried food, like fries and wings and stuff. And then people just kept coming, wanted more and more. So we just went. We only shut down for like a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we just kind of closed our. We're like la 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 la. We don't know about your your stuff of shutting restaurants down and stuff.
We don't know a thing.
Yeah, that was bullshit. We shouldn't go down that rabbit hole because
Yeah.
I'll talk a lot of shit.
No. I did. Everybody had a unique story how they managed through once the public, like restaurants and stuff, were allowed to have so many people back in their places.
Yeah.
Everybody had a unique story how they managed through
Yeah,
it.
we almost like went to court or something because they tried to like shut us. Like they tried to like hit us with a fine or something. We ended up beating it. It was easy to beat. Yeah, we never really slowed down. And actually, if anything, I remember calling one of my part-time guys and being like, hey, like you need to come back to work because we're making beer. And he was like, no, like I like these COVID checks. Like I'm not coming back to work. So
Yes.
then I ended up having to hire a guy during the pandemic. So
and fire the other one collecting the COVID check.
yeah. Well, we kept him around for a little bit. And, you know, he's running Pilgaroo now. So
Oh, so okay. So I guess it worked out well.
yeah,
for him.
he's doing all right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's doing all right. We kept him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've had a great time.
Yeah. So,
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. I had a good time too.
Yeah, Dave. Any last minute comments?
No, this was great. The only thing I'd ask is are you going to you have I think your one is it the Lebanon that has the entertainment? What location? There's a location you have that has it's like you have the '90s trivia and
We do that
90s music.
we do that in Lebanon for sure, but I
Yeah.
think Gap does stuff like they do like themed trivia too. Like I
Yeah.
said, they do a Schnitz Creek one, Schitt's Creek trivia, and I've seen that they
Yes.
do like an Always Sunny trivia. I think it's Lebanon that does the '90s. I'm always out by like 2:30, 3 o'clock because I start at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I never get to like see all that cool stuff that
Yeah.
they do.
My
I was
alarm
just
clock
wondering-
doesn't even know that time yet.
But you're up and out early.
Yeah, but not at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
But are you having any plans on expanding that, getting into live music with performers and stuff?
No, we
like that?
we do live music
Oh,
there
you
at
do
London.
do
Yeah,
live
yeah.
music,
And
yeah.
I think we do like a trivia where there's like a guy on acoustic guitar and he'll like play like a couple licks of a song. and
Name
then
that tune.
Name that tune
Name the
kind of thing.
tune.
Yeah, so I think we were doing that for a while. I'm not mistaken.
I
think
could
we're
see
still doing
Dave
it.
saying, "I'll name that tune in one note." I don't know how you can name any tune in one note.
If it's the right note.
Musicians, man.
I'm gonna say
know.
you guys you're a unique breed. If you can name it in one note,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have no clue. No clue.
I've actually done that. I've named some songs with just hearing the first riff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you know it, and
Yeah,
it's
as soon
funny
as you hear
too.
The first riff.
Some songs it's funny. You're like, wait a minute, which one is that? Because there's like two
Yeah,
songs.
there's
that's-
two versions of that. I wonder which one it is. Play another note so that I
Yeah.
know what version it is.
Ryan, I appreciate it, man. Tell us one more time who you are, who you're with, where they can find you guys.
Yeah. So I'm Ryan Moncars, and everybody in the industry calls me Monkey. By the way,
Monkey?
So, Monkey. Yeah. How you guys doing, Monkey?
Hey,
that's-
hey, are the monkeys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, we're the monkeys.
Yeah. Thanks for monkeying around.
I think I just got a new tagline for the thumbnail for this video.
Sweet. Yeah. Go ahead and you can stick Monkey under. I forgot to say that when I first came in.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so Brian Moncars, aka Monkey. I'm at Snitz Creek Brewery. Right now we're brewing everything out of Lebanon, but soon we'll be having our Campbelltown location open too. So we'll be brewing out of there. Yeah, Snitz Creek Brewery. Come check us out. We got good stuff.
Well, I do appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to make this work actually in person rather than remotely. It was
Definitely.
a lot more, it was
Much
a lot more
better.
fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to check out the breweries around here too. So I'll probably stop
Cool.
at some of these guys around here when we're done.
Yeah. So look, we got one more beer sitting here.
Oh yeah, this lager. Yeah, we should slug this down real
Yeah.
quick.
So tell us a little bit about what this lager is.
Yeah, it's mostly Pilsner, lagered for a nice long time, about 5-6 weeks.
and it is nice and clear.
Yeah, we don't filter any of our beer.
Yeah, that's nice and clear.
So yeah, that's just all like Whirlflock in the boil, which is like Irish Irish moss. Yeah, so that in the boil, and then we spin it in there, kind of coagulate everything to the middle, and then we just cold crash it for a nice long time, let it lager and sit cold, and it gets nice and clear.
So this is called a golden lager.
Golden
right?
lager, Helles lager.
So it's a Helles. So
it's a Helles,
gonna
yeah.
be a little bit lighter on the palate.
Absolutely, yeah. It's got a little tiny bit of Munich and Vienna, but it's like 95% Pilsner.
All right. So if you're out there, I don't care what you have in it. Ryan, we appreciate you coming on the show with the CPP. Thank you very much. We had a great time. For Dave, myself, if you're out there, let's raise a glass with Ryan and Snitz
Monkey, yes.
Snitz Creek, and the CPP.
Thank you guys, CPP. You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me. The best hosts.
Yep, and let's all.
And they're great. They're great brewers too. You guys make great beer. This is good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Well, shit, we should have cheers that with ours.
That's what we should. Yeah,
we'll do two. We'll do another one after this.
But let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.
Cheers.